Today we're learning how to convert an equation into slope-intercept form. Let's say you had the equation 9x plus 5y equals 10. Well, we know slope-intercept form is written as y equals mx plus b. So to take our equation and turn it into slope-intercept form, we're going to have to move some pieces around. Now what you can notice is that in slope-intercept form, the y is the only thing on the left side of the equal sign. So in our equation, we'll have to work to get this y all by itself. We can start by subtracting 9x from both sides of the equation, because when we do this, the 9x minus 9x cancels out, and we're left with just 5y. On the other side of the equal side, we have our 10 and then minus 9x. The next thing we need to do is cancel the 5 by dividing by 5. And because we've done it to one side of the equation, we have to do it to both of the terms on the other side of the equal sign. The 5 over 5 cancels out, and we're left with just y. And that equals 10 divided by 5, which is 2, and then minus 9 over 5, which we'll leave as a fraction, 9/5 x. Now this is pretty close to slope-intercept form, but remember we want it to look like y equals mx plus b. So we'll rewrite it as y equals, and we'll put the negative 9/5 x first, negative 9/5 x, and then the 2 is a positive 2, so we'll write plus 2. This is how we can write this equation in slope-intercept form. Let's do one of these together. Let's write this equation, 3x plus 4y equals 5, in slope-intercept form. Well, what is the correct way to write slope-intercept form? Remember that it's y equals mx plus b, and the most important part is that we get the y alone on the left side of the equal sign, so we need to get this y alone in our equation. Well, we can start by subtracting 3x from both sides. When we do this, what does our equation turn into? Well, the 3x minus 3x cancels out, so we're left with just 4y. On the other side of the equal sign, we have our 5 minus 3x. What is the next thing I need to do to get the y by itself? Well, to cancel out the 4, I can divide by 4. And if I do it to one side, I have to do it to both terms on the other side of my equal sign. The 4 over 4 cancels out. We're left with just y. Then we have 5 over 4, which we'll write as a fraction 5/4, minus, and then 3 over 4, which we'll also write as a fraction 3/4 x. Now this is close, but we're not quite in slope-intercept form yet. How can I write this equation in slope-intercept form? Well, I'll start with my y equals, but then I need to put the term with my x, my negative 3/4 x first, so I'll write negative 3/4 x. The next thing is to put in the 5/4, so I'll write plus 5/4. This is how you write this equation in slope-intercept form. Here's another to practice with. What's the first thing I should do in this equation? Well, I'll want to get rid of that negative 5x, so I can add 5x to both sides of my equation. When you do this, what do you get? Well, the minus 5x plus 5x cancels out. You're left with just 2y. On the other side of the equal sign, you have 1 plus 5x. What's the next thing I need to do? Well, you can cancel the 2 by dividing by 2. You'll do that to both terms on the other side as well. The 2 over 2 cancels out, and we're left with y equaling what? Well, we can write that 1 over 2 is just 1/2, and then we'll add 5 over 2 as a fraction 5/2, x. Now, how can I change this so it's in slope-intercept form? Well, we'll write y equals, and we'll put our term with the x, 5/2 x first. So we'll write 5/2 x plus the 1/2. This is how you write the equation in slope-intercept form. Now it's your turn. Write this equation in slope-intercept form. Well, you should have started by adding 2x to both sides of your equation. When you do this, negative 2x plus 2x cancels out. You're left with 3y. And on the other side, you have 3 plus 2x. From there, you can cancel the 3 by dividing by 3, and do it to the other side as well. The 3 over 3 cancels out. You're left with y. On the other side of the equal sign, 3 divided by 3 is 1 whole, and then you add 2/3 x. You have to change that around so it reads y equals first the x term, 2/3 x, then the y term, plus 1. This is how you write the equation in slope-intercept form. Here's the last one for this video. How do you write this equation in slope-intercept form? Well, start by getting rid of the x. Subtract 8x from both sides. When you do this, 8x minus 8x cancels out. You're left with just 4y. On the other side of the equal side, you have 5 minus 8x. The next thing is to divide by 4 to cancel out that 4, and do it from both sides. The 4 over 4 cancels out, leaving you with just y. That equals 5 divided by 4, we'll leave it as a fraction 5/4, minus 8/4, which we can simplify into 2 wholes, so minus 2x. From there, we just need to rewrite the equation as y equals, and put the minus 2x first, minus 2x, and then add the 5/4, plus 5/4. This is how you can write the equation in slope-intercept form. So from today, remember, slope-intercept form is written as y equals mx plus b, and that you should cancel the terms to get equations into this form.